gotta have a drink first. It's not gin or vodka.
Not yet.
Well, how do you follow that and those? A celebration of life is where we share personal stories, highlight achievements, express gratitude for a person's impact on our lives, and share memories. For those of you that didn't get here earlier, please have a look at the memory board back in the corner before we break for refreshments. I'm so grateful for the 35 years I shared with Lynn, and I already miss her dearly. We had a great ride together, and if you'll join with me, I'd like to just go down memory lane a little bit. It all started in Oshawa in the early 90s, where we met at a dance, a singles dance, and we learned that we both attended the same high school in Glencoe, Ontario. Now, what are the odds of that? We attended in the 60s. We really didn't know each other because she was in grade 9 and I was in grade 12. So you didn't really hang out with those young girls, did we, Ron? We cottaged and we boated in the Kawarthas with our adopted baby, Cricket, the best and smartest black cockapoo any of you have ever met. We got married in Las Vegas, September 9th, 1994. Then we retired, cruised a bit in the Caribbean, eventually the Hawaiian Islands. Then we started RVing in our fifth wheel through the Southwest USA. We went through California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, and Phoenix, Arizona was where we purchased a park model, where we wintered for 23 warm, wonderful winters. We often reminisced the past couple of years about how fortunate we were to have enjoyed so many winters there, and we've met so many wonderful people in Arizona. But in March 2020, COVID reared its ugly head, so we sold our little home and headed quickly back to London. After a brief hospital stay, Lynn was admitted to the McCormick Home Long-Term Care Center. September 21st, 2020. Now, with the height of COVID, one day I visited her and I had to wear a mask and an eye shield and a gown, and she looked at me. I don't think she really recognized me that well with all that stuff on. And she asked me if that damn panic thing was still on. And I looked at her, I said, "What'd you say?" She said, "That damn panic thing, is that still on out there?" And I said, "You just invented a word that nobody else has ever heard of. And to this day, I don't think anyone has heard that word. So not many here can lay claim they invented a new word." McCormick Center, wow. They entertained Lynn royally, kept her active cognitively, socially, and physically. They walked the halls with her, and she put in her steps. Being fortified by candy and chocolate that family members would drop off. Friends dropped off candy and chocolate as well. She danced, attended concerts, went bowling, petted baby goats and lambs in the home, made condo visits to our place, and I must admit, she seemed pretty much at peace in her new lifestyle. Her days on Maple Grove came to an end after 2.5 years. She was then transferred to her memory lane in May of 23. And that's where the transformation began. This shy, gracious, gentle, private woman started to lose her filters. And that was a little bit of a shock to a few of us. She became an entertainer, a chocolate candy dealer, and was constantly quipping and chirping with her new 24/7 family. I observed that whenever she had close encounters with the staff, there were copious smiles and laughter emanating from these caring angels. They rushed to help her get dressed. They walked with her. They cared lovingly for her, as they knew candy and chocolates would be forthcoming. So the system was evident. Visitors dropped off candy and chocolate. My Lynn was a dealer. She had a good gig going because they just looked after her. They spoiled her rotten because they knew they were going to be looked after. And by the way, there's a very special card on the memory table back there that many of Lynn's customers have signed. I would like to recognize two of them, and probably the two most special ones to me personally that looked after Lynn so well. Sabrina was the recreation director, and Lonnie, a neighbor, volunteer at McCormick. They're truly special angels sent to care for our loved ones. Would you two please stand for a moment? These are two. Now, I don't want to put a plug in for McCormick, but it's just not a long-term care center. It's a caring, sharing lifestyle they provide. So please feel free to donate with the forms that are out front by the guest book so they can continue their amazing work. I have videos, I have pictures of Lynn from Sabrina. She often would forward me pictures of Lynn baking a cake in the bowl. She would be bowling. They were bouncing ping pong balls into cups. She had her up dancing a lot, and they just amazed me with the love that they showed. And as somebody mentioned, maybe a couple people, Lynn rarely, if ever, complained. She showed so much grace. She loved her flowers. That's why there's so many on the table. She loved her gardens. She loved taking pictures. I have thousands of them at home that I have to sort through. She loved her music, her sweets, golf, but most of all, she loved her friends and family. And speaking of golf, I would like the ladies from Thames to please stand and be recognized. These were Lynn's good friends that she golfed with. Would you all please stand? Thank you, ladies, for coming. That's a total surprise that you came. I appreciate it. She often, when she wasn't playing golf, Lynn would prepare all the certificates and diplomas and pictures of them. She loved doing the computer work for the golf course. Now, speaking of golf, I do have one complaint about Lynn, and I know this is probably not the best place to share it. She actually got an eagle on a long par 5 in Phoenix, Arizona, and jarred the third shot, and it was a 540-yard hole. So she really perfected her game. But the thing that I don't like about Lynn, and I gotta share this, is she got a hole-in-one in Phoenix too. Now, I've been playing for 60 years, and I've never had one, so she's up there somewhere on some heavenly golf course, playing a great game, and I still gotta try and catch her. You know, as I look around the room and see a lot of familiar faces, I gotta say, it would have meant so much to Lynn today to see all the people she loved here in one room together. I know she had very special relationships with all of you, and it's just amazing that she's now cared for by angels, and now she is one. We were truly blessed with our lives together. I'm filled with gratitude and thank you all for the phone calls, the cards, the expressions of sympathy, and most of all, I thank you for being here today. Your presence means so much to the family. And a special thanks to everyone who got here early today and helped prepare the room with all the flowers. So I will now turn it over to Michelle to finish the day before we have a break. Thank you. This is my niece. She's a good girl.
If you can join me by turning to the inside of your pamphlet on the left-hand side. We'd like to offer for all of us and for Lynn and for Lynn's family our prayers. Sources of love and light in our world, we thank you for Lynn, who is so much a part of our lives and who has now been taken from us in death. We remember and celebrate Lynn's love and commitment to her family, her kindness, her resilience, her determination, her compassionate, playful nature. We offer our thanks for her warmth, which touched so many lives and made the world a better place. May all of our wonderful memories of Lynn sustain and uplift us in our loss. Sources of love and light, fill us and bring us peace. We ask for comfort and peace for Lynn's husband, Don, her daughter, Tracy, her siblings, Kathy and Bill, her stepchildren, Nikki and Jay, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, and all her family. Bring them relief and strength as they live with the sadness and loss of Lynn from their lives. May they feel the deep love of their communities surrounding them and supporting them in their grief. Sources of love and light, fill us and bring us peace. We ask you that everything good in Lynn's life may go on living in her family and in her friends. And may all of us who were close to Lynn be inspired to lovingly care for each other. And inspired by Lynn's life and legacy, may we all, in our hearts and minds, be encouraged to honor and love our family, to be generous to those in need, and to be a warm and loving presence to others. Sources of love and light, fill us and bring us peace. Amen. And may the blessings of Lynn's life and our life in relationship with Lynn be and fill us and transform us and send us out into the world in honor of her always and forever. Amen. Amen. We are very much looking forward to mingling and mixing and walking the memory lane in the back. And we invite you to join us for refreshments. There are 2 exits, not to bottleneck up the back. You can come forward and exit through these doors. And I'll just add one thing. The McCormick Home Foundation, which is a not-for-profit organization, it's interesting that Don's dad, my grandfather, was at McCormick Home like 40 years ago-ish, right? 25, 40 years ago. So a wonderful, important place, certainly in our families. Thank you again, and please do come and meet with Lynn's family and Don, and we're, again, so grateful that you were all here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.